Okay, FM 101.7.
Medas, Mammy Kofa, Dr. Hassan Ayariga, you're very sabrofo, Etina, Yedim Komo. Okay, 101.7 Swini. My able Dr. Hassan Ayariga, a leader, founder, Edima APC Amanyukono. Doc, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to your cherished listeners.
Yeah, it has been a while. Did you travel or you just been in political hibernation?
Oh, but APC has always been the news. We've been trying to put new policies to help government and to help the country move forward. So we've always been discussing it and having press conferences to register either our displeasure or our support or our proposals in government to make certain amendments.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's been 2 years and some months now since Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo assumed the mantleship of leadership in the country. Yeah. Have you been getting the time or the chance to be with him and chat with him on matters relating to national development?
The last one I proposed was a week ago, and I couldn't get him on phone, but I was able to get to his chief of staff. I'm told he's at the hospital with me, so his phones were all off, so I couldn't get to. And my proposal was about this same issue that we are facing today, that has to do with the issue of floods and the issue of the silting of gutters and waterways in our community, in our country, and in Ghana as a whole. So I called the chief of staff and I told her that it's time they stand up and then issue out maybe an ultimatum of 4 weeks, only weekends, cleaning of gutters and disposal of community gutters. Ghanaians should be taxed to do that on their own, because as they are complaining that there's no money. But every Saturday from 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, all shops should be closed down, so the Ghanaians themselves can go out in their compound and clean the gutters in front of their houses and behind their houses. Because if you look at the rains now, just small rains, very few hours, and then the whole country is choked and flooded. So the chief of staff said, yes, he was going to get back to the president when he comes, and then they'll have a meeting and this. And then I also proposed one thing, very important thing, that government should put a fee on bottle fund. That's the water bottles, the voltage, the bottles, the Bell Aqua, all these bottles that we drink water. There should be a fee on it, so that if you buy bottled water, assuming bottled water is 1 Ghana cedi, now because of the fund on the bottle, it should be 1 Ghana cedi, 50 pesos. So when you drink the water, you return the bottle and you get 50 pesos. Because when we went around looking the whole country and the gutters in our community, all was choked with bottled water, empty bottled water. And we cannot live in a community where we ourselves have become part of putting bottled water to choke the gutters. So there should be a fine on it. So my proposal to government and to Ghanaians is that there should be a fee on the bottled water.
Yes, but the Association of Sachet Water Producers held a press conference, and they were having concerns over what is government's inability to use the funds deducted from their sales, or the tax they pay to government for such rubber this thing to be removed from streets, and the government is not using the money. So they were having concerns over this issue.
Yes, it's very simple. Some of these policies is not about the concerns that we raise. It's about bringing out a very good policies that the people will easily adapt, and it will bring cleanness to our community. If the bottled water is said you pay 1 cedi, the water in the bottle is 1 cedi, 50 pesos for the bottle, I am sure nobody will throw his fund away. Ghanaians will be disciplined enough to keep their bottles, empty bottled water, and go for 50 pesos. And if you throw it away, somebody will pick it and go for 50 pesos and get a kinker out of it. So sometimes it's not about government deducting funds of it. It's about government putting a fund on it so that we become responsible and make, we love money so much. And because we love money, we will not throw our money away. So these are the policies APC is talking about. This is a very good policy. We should put fine on the bottle. And every Ghanaian will not throw his bottle away. I was at the airport 3 days ago to escort my mother-in-law to the U.S. Right in front of this new terminal airport, people threw bottles on the floor. And I was like, what? Do we have common sense in this country? That you can see that this place is very clean. At least the airport is very clean. Why would you throw a bottle on the floor? I walked quietly, picked the bottle, remove the lid, press it too small, and then cover it and want to put it in the bin. If it was 50 pesos, do you think you would come and see it lying on the floor? Somebody would have picked it to go to the next shop and get it 50 pesos. So that when you sell water, you will be ready to receive the bottle back and get the 50 and pay 50 pesos. Then the companies too will come and take those ones and recycle them, and then we move on.
Sir, and then we understand your house was submerged in water yesterday. What happened?
In the community where I live, West Legon, Hachu, in between Hachu and West Legon, I live on the Ayariga Street there. We have a very big gutter that is a long transition up to Hachu, the new funeral home around that place. There's a very huge gutter there. Now, water flows from within the community gutters into that gutter. On the Ayariga Street, there's a mosque there. It's a very big mosque that we use for our prayers. That mosque, beside the mosque, there's a big gutter there. The gutter is choked. So last week, when it rained, I called a community meeting and I told them that, look, I am willing to pay 50% of the cost of desilting the gutter around our community. The community too should also contribute the rest of the 50%. If it is 10,000 Ghana cedis, I'm willing to pay 5,000. If it is 1,000 Ghana cedis, I'm willing to pay 500. I am willing to pay half of it as the leader of the in my community to take the half of the cost. So we called NADMO in, we called engineers and those who have to filter it. They gave a cost. So we said, okay, the rest of the community will tax a young man to go around and get the rest of the money and bring, so that we'll give it to the company to do it. As we speak, not even one city has anybody in this community given out. So yesterday it started raining, and because if you know Hacho very well, you know that we have a lot of trees and then a lot of plantations like banana plants around. So those trees, some of them fell into the gutter and choked the whole gutter, and debris choked the whole gutter. So the water could not flow. So the water found its way into people's homes. More than 30 houses were flooded yesterday. My office was flooded, my house flooded, everywhere, people's restaurants and their homes flooded, people's shops flooded, the whole street. I walked onto the street and the water reached my knee level. Can you imagine? Knee level in that Wellington wood. That Wellington wood we saw was the one in the house.
Wow.
Beside the one in the house, I walked out to the street because the water got filled in the street and then started pouring to people's homes. If the street is not full, it cannot go to people's homes. So the gutters were all full, street itself was full, and now it found its way into people's homes and went into people's bedrooms and cars. For me, it flooded the whole car. Had about 9-10 cars in the house, all got flooded. Yeah.
So what
So
are
even
you?
as we speak now, the engineers are down trying to see if they can, because some of these cars, they have their control boards under the carpet, some of them down. The Land Cruisers are those who have their control boards on the top, but the sports cars and other ones, they have their control units under the seats, because most of them have electronical seats where you shift them. So their units and their control boards. So water inside, if you turn on the car, it will bend the whole system. So we cannot turn on any car.
Did it affect that your Range Rover? Nice one.
The Bentley, all
The
of
Bentley.
the Porsche,
Wow.
the Panameras, all those cars, all of them. They are low-level cars.
Yes.
So water went into them, especially the Bentley, because it has a higher level low. It was on the low. So even before we started, the water was already in. So we just left it. We couldn't start it. So water went in all. We're just praying that there won't be so much damage.
Sir, what are you going to do in the interim to forestall any recurrence of such events?
Yesterday, when it happened and then the video went viral, a lot of friends from within my party, and then some military men rushed here. Some of the soldiers rushed and came, friends of mine, and some military men rushed into the community and came to my aid. We went into the gutter, we defiled it with our hands and shovels. So if God was able to flow, the next 3 hours, the water all went out. So right now, what we are doing is, I'm still going to find the community. If they are not willing to pay, I will still pay the full cost and distill the gutter.
I see.
That's what I can do for the community.
Sir,
what else can I do?
In another development, have you been following the IPAC meetings and what has been emanating from the meeting concerning the limited?
IPAC
yes.
Yeah.
And what can you share with us, sir?
I think that Madam Jean Mensah needs to slow down and reactions and the amendment they want to bring on board. They need to look at it, because if you are in an IPAC meeting and you're not listening to the people who constitute the IPAC meeting, then definitely one day you come for IPAC meeting and there won't be anybody to talk to. Because the reason why we have IPAC meetings is because of political parties. So if you are not in good terms and you are not listening to the political party, and you want to put reforms that cannot be discussed, that cannot be debated on, then it's a big problem. Because politics is about Jojo, listen to each other. Because all about IPAC is Inter-Party Advisory Committee. That's the meaning of IPAC, Inter-Party Advisory Committee. So if you don't understand the word IPAC, and then you think that it is your EC board, it's your prerogative to only chair and make decisions without listening to them, then I'm sure, I'm afraid you have a big problem there. Certain reforms that have come need to be discussed thoroughly, need to be agreed to disagree. That is the beauty of democracy. But when you are enforcing laws on people, then it's not more democracy, it's a military regime.
Sir,
are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Yes.
What are some of the things that she has been, enforcing it on you, the political parties, that you are not, enthused about?
First of all, when they go for IPAC meeting, I have 3 representatives. As a party, every party is supposed to come with 3 representatives and discuss issues. The issue of the Europa discussions, the representatives, she is asking political parties to, so many of them, I mean, there's a whole lot. You cannot enumerate all at a go. But she is having a serious problem in terms of decision making. When you have to make decisions, it's not about the issue itself. You have to collaborate with the parties. And that's the most important aspect that we need. But when you are enforcing everything on everybody, then it's a problem. The last time I'm told even they sent security men there. How can you have an IPAC meeting and then you send security policemen to be guiding you? We have never seen that, even though Charlotte was not the best, but she never did that. We don't expect you to bring policemen to intimidate political parties.
Sir, maybe they took the security of those attending the meeting into consideration, and in view of these jihadist people that are supposed to attack our country in all corners.
Have you ever seen the president of the Republic of Ghana in a meeting and the policeman is standing behind him?
No.
Never. But it's happening in IPAC. That is not the best. You have never seen the president of the Republic having a meeting and there's a policeman standing right behind him when they were having a meeting. Is the policeman part of the meeting? So you don't go that way. I don't want to talk too much now because I think that we ought to give it time to make changes and also make mistakes and then do the correction.
Sir, so you feel that there's a posture of high-handedness on the part of the Electoral Commissioner?
I think that there's a posture of enforcing the laws without deliberating on it, without agreeing to disagree. Reforms on people, whether you like it or not, this is what we are going to do. It cannot happen in a democratic elected country like Ghana or dispensation like Ghana. You cannot just force people to accept things in a democracy. We're not living a military regime. Even if you're given the power, you must go by the rules and regulations and understand the norms of making decisions and proposals and reforms, that it has to be agreed upon. Basically, IPAC is about political parties. So even if you have your government or whoever is giving you new reforms, discuss it with them. Discuss it, agree to disagree. Because what you see as white, somebody might be seen as black, depending on where you stand or where you sit. So I think that IPAC is a very essential unit or a committee that in this coming 2020 election that we all think that a new EC has come on board, then the new EC must be flexible to be able to listen to political. It doesn't matter who actually appointed you as an EC board. Don't do the bid of your whoever appointed you. Do the bid of what you think that you are doing right. Because don't forget, common sense will judge you. The legacy you leave behind is going to be what people are going to use to make reference to you, not who appointed you.
Sir, is he doing the bidding of those who appointed her?
That is what we all want to believe. That's all most of the people in IPAC are not happy with. People were not happy with Charlotte. Now Charlotte is gone. You are in. Show another level. Make a difference. Make decisions that people will say women in power are better than men in power. Give people the opportunity to talk to you and smile. But when people are even laughing in an IPAC meeting, why should they laugh? Why? Do you even control people's laughter too? These things are not necessary.
I see. Sir, if elections were to be held today, which party could win?
I don't think any of the NDC or the MPP party will win. I think it will be APC.
Based on what reason, sir?
Because you see, over the years, Ghanaians have believed in two political parties and have given them the mandate. Ghanaians have given the NDC mandate several times, given the MPP. Today, as we are where we are today, the MPP and Nanado was the last hope of Ghanaians in these two political parties. Ghanaians believed that Nanado was going to be a messiah, coming to salvage them from the so long kind of bad leadership. They believe in his integrity, his age, his experience, his educational standard, his understanding and his political activities, and his wisdom and knowledge, and thought that these qualities surrounding Nanado will make it better change and will be a messiah for the country Ghana.
But today,
they're seeing the opposite. The opposite of what they believe is not what they see now.
But sir,
I'm coming. Let me just explain to you. You see, you said in your class campaign that NDC was incompetent and that Ghanaians should vote for you, and that you were going to think that we were sitting on money, and that the dollar was high, the city was running at a very bad rate, and that the economy was not moving on. People were suffering, everybody crying and suffering. Ghanaians are crying and suffering. Today, ask that same, even Baumia went to Amalata market to compare inflation by asking of goods, prices of foodstuff and others. Today, go back and do the same comparison, and you will see that you are worse than. First of all, let me just give you one example. A government that says it's competent is a government that is able to manage the assets and properties of the nation and manage the people well to be able to get 3 square meals. Today, we have a government that says if they were competent, selling the properties of our country every day. So if the NDC was incompetent and they were not selling the property, and now you are competent, you say you have the men to manage this country. Now you came with the men, and instead of managing the country, you are selling the properties out. So how competent are you? You have sold our properties out. You sold everything that belongs to Ghanaians to yourselves and to your colleagues. So how competent are you?
Sir,
that's a simple understanding of their government.
Sir, which of the properties are you talking about, sir?
PDS is gone. The Electricity Company of Ghana, that is supposed to be meant for us at least. That is where we can get subsidies when we are struggling and we cannot pay electricity. Government has our distance can come in and subsidize the price, the rates of electricity. Look, let me just take you to a few examples. Look, Commander Sugar Factory. The previous government built it at a cost of $35 million. This current government sold it for $12 million. Is that common sense? No matter how stupid you are, you cannot buy something at 35 and within 1 year you sell it for 12 million. No matter how worthless that thing is. Look, we import over $300 to $500 million of sugar yearly. Yet we have allowed Commander Sugar to rust. Good. We import over $1.2 billion of rice yearly, annually for consumption. We have a Venyem rice factory and we have a rice factory in the north, all rusted. We import over $400 million of tomatoes every day. We have the Palgu tomatoes factory rusting, and we have Wenchi tomatoes abandoned and rusting. We have more than, let me say, we import over $700 million of baby pampers, diapers, toilet tissues. And we have cotton factories in the north, abandoned. We have here, right in front of us, we have the sea, we have the lakes, we have the rivers, and then we spend over $600 million importing fish. But just right in front of us, we have the sea. We cannot make good use of it. So what at all can we do in this country? And you say you are a government that is a serious government. I don't see any seriousness in any government so far. Both of them have failed us. We need common sense, at least, if we don't even have the PhD holders who can manage our country. Sometimes I ask myself one simple question. I don't know whether education has transformed Ghana or it has destroyed Ghana. Because what I see is that the educated one have destroyed Ghana. So we don't even need them anymore. We need people with just common sense. Our forefathers weren't educated properly like today. But today's civilization and education in Ghana is destroying Ghana rather than it's building Ghana. So you will say that your father, who's a farmer in the north, or who's a farmer in the south, or a farmer in the east, has performed better than your brother, who's well educated in Oxford University and has come to destroy the country. Tell me if I am wrong. So education actually in Ghana has sent us backwards. We have used education to destroy our country instead of building our country. We have become 21st century educated thieves. And the poor are suffering. Our fathers have sent us to school to come and salvage them, but we have gone to school to come and steal them. That is all I see. And what do you expect them to do now?
But sir,
the MPP came and said, one district, one factory. If you have all these factories and you've abandoned all these factories, and then now you come and tell us that your factories that you were proposing were not public, you're looking not government to build those factories, but you're looking for private partnership. You just went and took $300 million Exim Bank loan. If it is private, who do you need that money for? What are you going to build? Good. If you say you want factories, what about the old factories that are in existence? Look at the silos we have in this country built by Kwame Nkrumah, may his soul rest in peace, abandoned and have become toilet facilities. Tell me, today, if there's a disaster in the world and every country decides to close its boundaries and borders and no food is coming in, no food is coming out, I just want you to tell me whether we can survive 1 week without importing food from abroad. 1 week. Are we thinking? Ask this question. Can we survive in this country 1 week without the importation of food into this country? Can we? We cannot. Are we thinking? Do we have common sense? That ask yourself, as you sitting in the studio now has speaking to me, how many bags of rice do you have in your house that you have left before coming out? Probably none. So if there's disaster, how do you intend to feed your family? That is the problem. We don't think.
But sir, I think you are not oblivious of the fact that the government rolled out so many social intervention programs like Planting for Food and Jobs.
Thank you very much for bringing that point. Let me tell you, government roll out Planting for Food and Jobs. Go to the market and find out from the market whether food and food products have reduced. Government reduced taxes of goods and services according to government. Go to the market and tell me whether any price of commodity of any good has been reduced since government came to power. We are still paying more. With government claiming reduction of taxes and production of food and plant, we still pay more for everything. So what's the essence of telling us that you have reduced taxes, you have increased production, and yet the consumer is still paying higher than before? These are common things we need to understand. We have an open market where everybody, Chinese men and women, businessmen and women, are in the system. They increase the prices of everything without control. Lands and properties in this country cannot be valued. Government cannot have control over anything. So people increase prices of goods and services on daily basis per their own wage. Today you go to the market, you want to buy gari, somebody says it's 3 cedis. Tomorrow he sits down and says, look, yesterday when I went to the market, I paid 3 cedis. Today I want to sell it 5 cedis. And nobody questioned that person because we don't have a price guarantee system. And we want our dollar to be stable, our cedi to be stable. How can you be thinking in this manner and expect your dollar to be, your cedi to be stable? You have an open market. Chinese come in with their goods, increase the prices the way they want, determine the prices of goods and services. You sit down in your office and you call yourself a president, you call yourself a minister. Meanwhile, you cannot control anything. What kind of minister are you? That you cannot regulate the things, the goods and services in your country. That anybody just gets up and regulate anything, and then you sit aloof and watch, and then you call yourself a president. What kind of president are you? Let me tell you, if we are not careful, I am not prophesying, but if we are not careful, one day the white man will come and buy Ghanaians, and then will be the president of the Republic of Ghana, and then will become the 21st century as we do now. What do we owe at all? Tell me, as Ghanaians, what can we be proud of? That we as Ghanaians is our right and it's our property. Our mining sector has been taken over by Chinese and whites. Our oil sector has been taken over by whites. Our banking sector has been taken over by foreigners. Our oil sector has been taken over by foreigners. Tell me which sector of our country in this economy that Ghanaians can boldly hit their chest and say it belongs to Ghanaians. Even properties, real estates, Nigerians have taken over. Land and properties, Nigerians have taken over. What else do we have? Are we not 21st century slaves in our own country? And we call ourselves Ghanaians? Ghanaians for what? And you think that I should be happy that we should be voting NDC and MPP again? For what?
Sir.
Oh, my brother.
We thank you for these discourse, okay?
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Hassan Ayariga, the leader, founder, Emma APC, and then Sio Konifi.